guys, Julia here from Jam Squared Vintage. Welcome back to the channel. I am here today with a little bit of a ship with me. These are things that came in over the weekend. For the most part, since Saturday afternoon, I did try to get a shipment out on Saturday. There's some really cool sales, some really cool pieces that went, and I can't wait to show you what sold, how long they took, and how much they sold for. But if you are new here, first and foremost, welcome. Welcome aboard. I'm Julia. We talk all things thrifting and vintage and reselling on the internet. If any of those things are of interest to you, be sure to hit subscribe down below. I would love to have you along on this journey. But without further ado, guys, as usual, I am running late. I am running low on time. I've got to get these packed. I've got to get them to the post office. So let's get into the shipments. So the first thing that sold here is this cute like cotton sweater from Wooden Ships. Now, Wooden Ships is one of those brands that I was not aware of until I found my first piece. I have since found a couple different pieces, and they're all cotton. They're really well made. I don't know if they're sold, I believe they're sold in certain boutiques, but I wouldn't necessarily call them a boutique brand. I think that they are primarily sold on their own website, and they tend to be super collectible. I mean, not every sweater is collectible, but certain ones go for quite a bit. And it looks like they have a lot of like themed sweaters. For example, this one is a heart one. Actually, one of the other ones that I found was also a heart version, and that sold pretty quickly. But they retail for about $140 to $150. So they're not, you know, they're not inexpensive sweaters to start with, and the quality is beautiful. You know, again, it's a nice kind of like lightweight cotton, almost open weave sweater, but not quite open weave. Anyway, I had this for about 3 months. I found this one in the summer. It was an extra small. Of course, I found it in the summer and it's very much Valentine's-y. It's got little hearts all over it. And I had it listed for $45. I wasn't sure. This was the first one that I found from this brand. I had it listed for $45 just to kind of see what it would go for. You know, certain ones go in the, you know, in the $75 range, some even into the hundreds depending on their level of demand. But this one I had for 3 months. Again, it was a size extra small. I had it listed for $45 and ultimately got an offer for $35 after, or an offer for $30 after some back and forth, which I did accept. I had it for a while. I was ready to move it along. The other one that I had sold quicker and for a higher price, but for whatever reason, this one did not. But with a $1 cost from the bins, this ended up giving me a profit of $24.42, which I'm pretty happy about. You know, it's a cute sweater, and I hope she absolutely loves it. Next up, this shirt is so adorable. Now, I know that there's a lot of people who do not do well with Madewell. I do fairly well with Madewell. I'm never making a ton of money on their pieces, but they do sell pretty reliably for me, so long as I'm getting more recent pieces. But I just thought this shirt was so stinking cute. It's this little safari shirt. It's another size extra small, but it, you know, so it's got this cute little tie front, like a little basic safari shirt. But look at that embroidery across the back. Isn't that adorable? I just absolutely loved it. So I grabbed it, and it was $1 from the bins. So it was pretty low risk for me. How do I fold this? I just thought it was super cute. So I had this for about 2 months. I did get it like at the end of summer, so I'm not super surprised about it taking a little bit of time to sell, just because this is a pretty summery piece. Get that collar folded a little nicer. There we go. There we go. Nice and tidy. So I had it for about 2 months, and I had it listed for $29 and got an offer for $22, which I did accept. I just thought this was so stinking cute. This has a little bit of like a rockabilly feel to it. That was kind of the first thing that came to my mind when I saw it. Like, I could see it being worn with, like, you know, some dark jeans and some cowboy boots, and just really being a cute vibe to whoever wears it. But I'm super happy about that. I was not about to leave that shirt behind with that embroidery. I'm such a sucker for a good embroidery moment, and that had just, it felt very 1950s. It felt a little bit Japanese, which are like all of my favorite things in one. So I had this listed at $29. I got an offer for $22, and with a $1 cost from the bins, this brought my profit to $17.46, which I am pretty happy about. And I'm just very happy about getting this cute shirt back out into the world. Absolutely. Oh, it's going to Hawaii. I feel like I've been selling a lot of things to Hawaii recently. Hopefully they're not paying crazy Hawaii shipping prices. Hopefully they're getting the same price that they would be getting, you know, in the States, in the contiguous 48. Next up here is this cute dress from Boden. Now, Boden is one of those brands that, you know, in my opinion, now don't get me wrong, they're not an inexpensive brand, but I feel like, and this is again, personal opinion, I feel like their quality outpaces their price. I feel like you get a lot of bang for your buck when you're picking up a Boden piece. So I always love picking them up, especially when they're really simple classic pieces like this. This is just a little linen pure waist dress. It's a pretty brown, which is very in right now. It's got a little bit of a login look feel to it. It's a super classic summery linen dress. You know, and this probably went for $150 on their website. I also do pretty well when you can find Boden kids pieces. You know, they're just one of those brands that's very classic. It's a very, you know, you're not gonna have anything that's very trendy from them, but they're made very well. So if buying, you know, kids clothes and then selling them is something that you do with your own kids, or, you know, something that a friend of yours does, keep your eyes out for Boden kids, because you'll get a great, you'll pay a little bit more for them on the resale market, but you'll also get that same exact amount whenever you sell them, and literally whenever you sell them, because they are, you know, trendless, really. So this was a great one. I had this about 2 weeks, and I had it priced at $39, and it was a full price sale. Popped right on through. So with the $1 cost from the bins, this brought me to $32.27. And I love buying and selling Boden. It's one of my favorite brands. I just always feel really good about it because I know that their quality is like so nice. Next up, now this was a funny one. This was a piece that I had in one of my hauls a week or 2 ago. I'll link it down below and I talk about it. This was something that I had in my cart, and had I been a little bit more thorough when I was checking out, I probably would have taken this out. It's a linen camisole. It's like a linen knit camisole, which is really nice and it feels really lovely, but there's no tags. You know, there's no size tags, there's no brand tags. I have no idea who made this, when they made this, what size it is officially. You know, I estimated this to be a size large, but I even said in my haul, I was like, you know, I probably would have gotten rid of this if I had more wherewithal when I was leaving. And as I was listing it, I was kind of laughing. I'm like, watch, because I feel like this happens all the time. I'm like, watch this be the first thing from this haul that sells. And sure enough, with the exception of one other thing, which I'll show you in a little bit, it's gonna be the last thing we pack, this was the first thing that sold out of that haul. And it sold quickly. It was a full price sale. Now granted, I didn't put a crazy price on this because I didn't know what it was. But I put a price of $17 on there and it sold in 1 day. Go figure. I mean, it just goes to show, like, don't underestimate some of the little pieces that you aren't necessarily excited about. I feel like that's how it goes. Like everybody, every seller in the world has that pile of things that they're just not at all excited to list or sell or photograph. And sure enough, those are the things that go the fastest. This batch of post office envelopes that I got have 0 sticks, so it's gonna be a little choppy because I don't want you having to listen to me reinforcing things with tape. But anyway, so I had this listed for $17. It sold in 1 day, a full price sale, and my profit ended up being $15.06. Next up here, this was such a great find. This is from Banana Republic, and this is brand new with tags. And it's this kind of like linen-y tweed. I wish you could feel this, but it's got like a little raw edge. So it's got like kind of bias cut stripes here. It's this heavier weight, like linen tweed cut. It is brand new with tags. And you know, it's Banana Republic, and I don't often pick up Banana Republic stuff. It's got a little bit of an asymmetrical hemline too, which I love. I don't pick up Banana Republic all that often. I picked this up because it was a pretty substantial fabric and it was brand new with tags, and it's just a great style. But you know, I pass up a lot of Banana Republic because it just doesn't sell all that well for me, despite their quality being great, which just goes to show, you know, if you are looking for really quality basics, if you are on the shopping side and you are looking for quality basics, check out Banana Republic stuff secondhand, because you can get, you know, Banana Republic is expensive. It is an expensive store, you know, and rightfully so. The quality's there, the pieces are beautiful, they're very, very classic, but on the resale market, they just don't move for what, you know, what they should, in my opinion. So like, for example, I just sold a beautiful men's cashmere sweater, 100% cashmere, and I think it sold for like $19. So, you know, if you are in the market for really high quality basics, check out Banana Republic, because there are steals of deals to be had. Now this one, again, brand new with tags, and I had it for about 3 months. I did get it at the end of summer, so it was, you know, I didn't anticipate selling it super quickly, but just because of all the different selling factors, I 100% picked it up. But I had it for about 3 months and got an offer for $38, which I gladly accepted. With a $1 cost from the bins, this brought me to $31.22 profit on this. I'm just, you know, again, this was just such a beautiful piece, and I'm super happy to get this, you know, out of the Goodwill bin situation and into somebody's closet, because again, it's brand new with tags. It's got a lot of wear left in it. Next up here, we have these cute jeans from Paige. Now these are men's jeans, and the style is called the Feral, which is kind of like a slim straight style. I don't pick up everything from Paige. I will only pick up the new label from Paige. I would advise pretty much anybody to do that. But men's jeans, as long as the style's right, that kind of skirts, you know, kind of skirts that rule. You're not going to find many of the older tag men's Paige though. But this is the newer tag, if you can see that. It's like a block letter on that. So this is called the Federal jean. I know of this style. This color is interesting. I don't pick up colored jeans all that often. I almost never pick up women's colored jeans unless we're talking about white jeans. White jeans are kind of always in, but like red jeans, light blue jeans, they're getting a little dated at this point. But this color in particular, this kind of red, kind of looks very similar to something called Nantucket Reds. I do not know if you are familiar with that term. You know, I grew up in the Northeast, so Nantucket Reds are something that I'm very familiar with, but I don't know if that is something that the rest of the country is like hip to. It's very specific. They start out like brick colored, and the whole thing is like they're washed and dried in the sun, so they fade to this beautiful like kind of light bricky red color. So anything in that color, especially for men's, I'm going to grab as long as it's a good quality brand. So I grabbed these, and I had them listed, for $65. Paige jeans are pretty expensive. They retail for about $180. So I put them at $65, and I had them for about a month and a half and got an offer for $50, which I gladly accepted. The guy was really nice. He kind of sent me a nice note with his offer. With $1 cost from the bins, that brought me to $45.09. And I'm super happy that those are going out to somebody who really wants them. I hope he absolutely loves them. Next up, now this is something that I'm always gonna pick up, and because they can go either way. This is a cute little blazer from Zara. Now Zara blazers, depending on the blazer, can go extremely high dollar. You know, I've seen ones that are, you know, they retail for whatever, 120, and because they're in demand or they're one of their kind of blogger favorites, they end up selling for like 200. They're just super in demand. This was not one of those, but I wasn't sure because I had seen some other like pink boucle sweater or blazers from them Similar vibe to this, going pretty high. So I had a list price on this of $58. And I had it for about a month or two. And you know, one of the things I could have been seeing, and I didn't even take this into consideration when I was comping it, was that that could have been a little bit of the Barbie effect. You know, those kind of, and everything pink kind of spiked in price over last summer. So, but you know, still, like, I'm always gonna pick up Zara blazers because you know, they're beloved. People really love the fit of them, and they love the fact that they can get, you know, this is a very Chanel style blazer, and they can get that look for, you know, not $5,000. So I had this listed for $58. I had just dropped the price to $48 and got an offer for $34. And you know, this is kind of a bigger, bulkier piece, so I was excited to get this on the road. So I gladly accepted it. My cost on this was $1 from the bin, so it's not, you know, it gives me a little bit of flexibility to take kind of lower offers, and that's not even a terrible offer. You know, it's just like, I'm thinking about this in terms of what I initially had this for sale for, but that is not the experience of the buyer. So that was a pretty reasonable price, and I'm happy to get this out on the road. So I had this again for a month. I just dropped the price to $48. I got an offer for $34, which I gladly accepted. With a $1 cost from the bins, this brought me to $26.20. It's another great piece back out into the world. Woo. Next up, now this is a brand I had not heard of until I picked it up, and it's the brand is called NLT, or No Less Than, and they are like a small batch fashion company based out of Los Angeles. Really high quality. I think all their materials are recycled. I really like the style. I mean, this is so nice. I had never heard of it. I just grabbed it because I really liked the look of it and I liked the quality that I was feeling. So I grabbed it, and it was another great brand that I got to learn about, which, you know, is part of the fun of doing what I do. So this, I think, had a retail price somewhere in the $200 range. They're not inexpensive, and of course, you know, their whole thing is that they are slow fashion, not fast fashion. It's small batch, you know, they're not getting that economy of scale that like a Zara is getting when they're making 25,000 pink boucle blazers. These guys are probably making 35. And I can go into detail if you ever want me to on how that kind of works when you're dealing with factories, because it's pretty interesting stuff. But needless to say, you're going to be paying a lot more per piece if you're getting 25 pieces versus if you're getting 25,000. That's just kind of simple logic. So I was super pumped to find this. I had this for about 2.5 months, and I had it listed for $38. There wasn't much in terms of comps on the market for this brand. I mean, again, that makes sense. It's small batch, so there's just simply not a lot of it around. So I just took a stab and kind of priced it around where I would price another kind of like Codigan type sweater. I hate that portmanteau, but here we are. So I had it priced for $38. Again, I had it for about 2.5 months. And I got an offer for $30, which I accepted. I paid $1 for this at the bins, so my profit ended up being $23 on this one. Next up here, this one is from my own closet. And this is just a cute little J. Crew denim jacket. As I was cleaning out my closet, I realized that I had about 5 denim coats, denim jackets. So I'm like, all right, I need to like lighten that load, especially since I only really wear one of them. And this was just a cute little basic denim jacket, super in style. J. Crew denim is always really nice. So I popped it in the wash and got it listed. I think I had this, I put this up about 5 months ago. And I will say, denim jackets on resale sites are very saturated. So unless you are sitting with some in your closet and you want to move them, that's fine. You know, there's like no pressure for you to sell them. That's fine, but I would not go sourcing denim jackets unless there's something really extraordinary, like a vintage Levi's or you know, a super high-end designer brand. I would leave behind any J. Crew, I would leave behind any Gap, you know, whatever. There's just a lot of them, and a lot of people already have them in their closet. They're such a closet staple that it's like a pair of jeans, right? Everybody's got one. So I had this listed for about 5 months, like I said, and I had it listed for $30 and got an offer for $20, which I gladly accepted. I was happy to move this on from my closet, happy to make a little bit more room in my closet. But all in all, it ended up giving me a profit of about $16, or as I say, freeing up about $16 for my closet, because I am somebody who likes to sell to buy. I try not to buy anything new unless I'm using money from things that I sell from my own closet to buy it with. Next up here, and this was such an interesting find. So this is a beautiful mulberry silk pajama top. Now it was missing the belt. This is kind of like a robe style top. And I gotta say, this is some of the nicest silk I've ever laid my hands on in my life. But just because it was missing things, it was only the top, not the bottom. There's no size tag. In fact, if you look at the tag here, it says MAP. And I searched and searched and searched. And finally I was like, oh my God, that's somebody's initials. These are bespoke. These are custom made pajamas. Still, I didn't know if I would be able to sell them because it didn't have the belt, because it didn't have the pants. But they were so beautiful. I'm like, you know what, somebody might want them, even if they just want it for the fabric. So I kind of put it up with a feeler price of about $30, knowing if these are what I think that they are, they probably cost close to $800 or $900 to have custom made at this level of quality. So, you know, I found them, I got them for $1 at the bin. So I had them up for $28. And I had them up for a while. I had them up for I had it up for 3 or 4 months. And I finally got this offer, and we went back and forth and ultimately settled on $15. Now, you know, I paid $1 for them at the bins. You know, is it a great profit? No. But it is like a little profit, and it's a great piece. So hopefully this goes on to get used and loved. Like, it's just so luxurious, and I'm happy that I didn't donate this back, because I don't know what would have happened to it. I don't know if anybody else would have ever picked this up, because it was missing the belt, because there was no size tag, whatever. But I'm happy, you know, $15, it was $1 cost of the bins. It's not like I'm losing money on it. My profit on this ended up being $11, but again, just goes to show, like, just list it. There is a buyer out there for most things. Hopefully this person can, like, make a new belt or has a belt, whatever, but either way, gorgeous. And finally, we've got this backpack here from Osprey. I found this at the bins. Osprey is just one of those great brands that, like, if you are into outdoorsy stuff at all, you're gonna know what Osprey is. They sell reliably, they sell fast. If you can find one, if you've got one hiding in your closet that you haven't used in a while, like, sell it, you know, and you can get them. This one was the Skimmer 16, which is a smaller, like, day pack size. This is not something that you would use necessarily on, like, a big hiking trip or something like that. This is something you would throw a water bottle in, maybe a little bit of sunscreen. 16 stands for 16 liters, so that is kind of what you're dealing with there. So I found this at the bins for $1, which was insane, and it had, like, a Goodwill tag on it, which means that it had been through a store and nobody bought it, which is just crazy to me, because these do sell super quick if you have, like, I've had a bunch of Osprey packs in my days. You know, I've had bigger ones, I've had smaller ones, and I've sold them all. I have one that I've kept, but for the most part, I've sold probably 5 or 6 over my lifetime, and they always sell in, like, days. You know, they don't. It's not like they're sitting there for weeks waiting to move. Like, they sell quick, so it is really unusual to find one that made it through a Goodwill store and didn't get sold. So I was very excited to find this. So I got it for $1, and this is, again, one of their smaller sizes. So I had this listed for $45. I think retail price on this one was $100. So I had this listed for $45, and within a day, my sidekick had sent an offer for $40, and that was accepted. So $1 cost from the bins, that brought my profit to $28.98. And somebody's getting a great pack at a great price. It's in fantastic shape. There was like a little, dirt there that I rubbed off, but you expect that with an Osprey pack. So super happy about that one. But that is it, guys. That is the Ship With Me haul. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while I literally do my work. I appreciate you all so much. It makes me so happy to know that there are other people out there that are into the same weird thing as I am. But if you haven't yet, be sure to follow me over on my socials. I'll put my handles right here. I'll also link them down below. I always try to do a bigger Ship With Me when I have enough things to like make it interesting for you on YouTube. But for everything else, I'll do kind of daily little ones on my TikTok or my Instagram, and sometimes I'll put them on YouTube Shorts. So follow me along there. If you had fun, be sure to hit like. Don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you along on this journey. But guys, I've got to run. But without further ado, guys, have a fabulous week. Happy hunting, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.